Welcome along to Roy's Ramble, and I am still travelling around on my Land's End to John O'Groat's little journey to see how this goes. And I have got with me today somebody who is partway along that journey, and this is Sophie. Hello, Sophie.
Hi, nice to meet you, Roy.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing this. This is the first one, so it's a little bit strange for me, but we'll see how it goes. And first of all, I want to ask you, because you're down in Cornwall, which is where I am virtually walking through, even though I'm not with you, but why Cornwall? Why have you settled in Cornwall? What is it about Cornwall? Why are you there?
I was born in Kent, grew up near Swindon in Wiltshire, lived all over the world, lived in London, trained to be a teacher in London, and then found a job in South Devon, which isn't far away from where I live now. But 20 years ago, my mum moved to this area, so I'm in Bude in North Cornwall, and come backwards and forwards in that 20 years. And then basically I turned 40 and had come to a point in my teaching career down in South Devon where I was like, I think I'm ready to leave the school. I'd been there 12 years and got two girls of my own, and South Devon was beautiful, but actually it's much quieter, much more relaxed up here, and obviously closer to family. So yeah, my brother now lives here as well, and he's got two girls, and my mum and my other brother's in Exeter, so we're all fairly close to each other. So that's the reason for being here, really, and it's beautiful and it's an amazing place to live. So yeah.
Oh, you've sold it to me. I want to stay now. I don't want to keep going all the way up to John O'Groat's. I want to stay in Cornwall.
Amazing places en route, I'm sure.
Obviously, I'm doing my walk for a local mental health charity here in Oxford. But for you, how do you look after your mental health?
That's a good question. So before we moved to Cornwall, was not in a good place at all with my mental health, and didn't really realise that I'd suffered with anxiety for all my life. I just thought I was weird, those butterflies in your tummy when you go on a school trip, and thought I was the only person. Gosh, I wish I knew that I wasn't that only person. But yeah, I kind of got to a point where I needed to do something desperately to sort myself out and to support my family, really. So yeah, I've been on a journey ever since, really, learning about self-care, things that I enjoy, what's good for me, what's not good for me. And yes, I can get into the habits and the cycles like everyone else of eating crap food, because that's just easier than actually eating vegetables and fruit and things like that. So but my main thing is trying to get outside. I love gardening, love going to the beach. So yeah, that's kind of, I found things that work for me and realised that actually things I didn't realise helped me do as well. So yeah, that's kind of what supports me. Listening to music, being creative, all of those stuff, really. But it's finding time for it. It's hard.
It is hard. And you said obviously about the beach, which you're lucky to, because here in Oxford we are completely landlocked. So you've got, which is the closest beach to you, Sophie?
So the closest is Summerlees, which from my house is probably about a 6 minutes walk. So I'm incredibly lucky. I'm aware of that, and posted lots of pictures of the beach when we were in lockdown in March. And I just was aware that I was, super lucky to be able to live this close. We've got so many different choices of beaches, so I'm very, very lucky. But yeah, I used to live near Swindon, which is near Oxford, so I know what that landlocked feeling is like.
But actually, I think that's important as well, the fact that you said that you've posted pictures of the beach, because that does help other people. I know for me, that's really useful being in Oxford, to be able to go, oh, look at that. I could be there at the moment. And just doing this walk at the moment, I go along and you see where you've registered and it's putting it in the map. And you go, oh, yeah, quick, go on to Street View. Have a look. Oh, that looks really gorgeous. And it does change how you think and think about places. But I wanted to pick up on something that we spoke about very briefly just before we started this. And that was about the beach. And you said about a 2-minute challenge. What's that about?
So Bude is the home of the 2-minute beach clean, and basically there was a guy probably about 6 years ago, Martin Dorey, who realised that the beaches were covered in rubbish, and him and some others were picking up rubbish all the time, trying to help clean it. And then it started with a hashtag of 2-minute beach clean, and it basically says that if you go onto a beach and they do 2-minute litter pickup, I think it is, or something like that, in your local area. So you don't need to be at the beach, but anywhere that you see litter, if you just try to just 2 minutes to start with, so pick up that bottle or the crisp packet and go and find a bin to put it in, or recycle it if you can take it home. He basically said 2 minutes is easy and achievable, and from there you can then often find you've done 5 minutes of beach cleaning without even really realizing it, or 20 minutes. But if you said, right, go for a 20-minute beach clean, you might not feel like you've got the time for that or whatever. So yeah, it's very successful, and they've become a charity now, and they've got people who work for them, and the awareness around the whole of the UK and the world. They've got very active Twitter and social media accounts. So yeah, it's really important, and it's making a difference. When you go to the beach here, often you can't find any rubbish to pick up, but actually there is rubbish there. It's the microplastics, the very, very tiny ones, that you can still pick up. But yeah, that's a real positive, that actually people are making a difference. That's good.
And actually, we can apply that sort of 2-minute challenge or 2-minute rule to anything, can't we? Not only helping clean the beach, but we could do that here in Oxford of picking up the rubbish, but also just with mental health, just taking 2 minutes out of your day. And I asked you about looking after your own mental health. Are you involved in helping other people look after theirs?
Most definitely. So I'm a relaxed kids coach and have been for 3.5 years, nearly 4 years in May, can't quite believe it. And yeah, so I was a primary school teacher, still am a teacher really, because I'm very fortunate. Before Christmas, between September and Christmas, I was in 4 local primary schools. I worked out that I delivered sessions, so at least one relaxed kids session, but lots of them had lots more, to over 350 people, ranging from 3 and 4-year-olds right through to adults. So I did staff sessions. And I worked out it was over 110 sessions I'd delivered, including one on Zoom, because I got very brave and did a wellbeing session, a free one for school staff as well, because they were struggling before Christmas, and my goodness, they're struggling now, and as well as parents, of course. So yeah, there's more sessions on the way for those people, so that's good. Yeah.
And how has that changed from doing it at the schools as opposed to being online?
Well, I haven't actually delivered anything online to the schools yet. I've sent out emails to say, these are the options. This is what we could do this half term. This was going to be my busiest half term ever, to the point that I was wondering if I was doing too much for my own mental health. But I was like, I am determined I'm going to do it. And just as soon as I get in the classroom with the children and the staff, I know why I'm there. So yeah, it's really important. But yeah, we'll have to see how this is going to evolve this half term. But yeah, just different.
Of course. And something else I wanted to pick up on was, you mentioned about doing a couch to 5K. Have you thought about doing another one?
I started it today. So obviously Christmas, a few foods that I probably shouldn't have been eating. Yeah, I used to have a dog, and sadly she died before Christmas, and I've just noticed that actually even I never realised, but I hated it sometimes, but getting out with the dog when it's wet and windy is so good for you, and I realised that I need to be doing that every day, because I'd started to pile on the pounds, as they say, and just knew that I needed to do some exercise. So I dragged my daughters out this morning, and one of them was like, I'm really enjoying this. I was like, I told you would. And, and the other one was busy riding her bike. So yeah, we had good fun this morning. So it was good.
Still exercise, though, even riding the bike. And
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Actually being together outdoors is also important. It's good. I did a video the other day, and I was saying about just being out by myself walking, and that's nice to have that time, but actually just to be out with other people. And I know we can't meet up with lots of others, but actually if you are out and you happen to just by chance meet somebody else, things can happen. Or if you've got your family and you can go out with them, it does make such a difference to be able to talk to them, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. I made sure that I said good morning to everyone, and I saw some, so my girls were busy playing down by the river, and I saw 2 adults talking to each other, and one said to the other, good morning, how are you doing? And the other one just said, not good. And I was like, oh, thank God you said good morning to her, because actually then they had a little chat. I think they did know each other, but that's fine. They hadn't planned to be out together, but yes, it was good. And then the other lady walked on and they walked their separate ways. And it just reminded me how important it is for everyone's mental health, just watching that this morning. So yeah.
And I think that's, you've picked up on a really key thing of actually acknowledging it and saying it out, because it's very easy to keep it all inside and go, oh yeah, I'm fine, and brush it off. And I remember, I think it was either last year or the year before, there was an ask twice challenge, which was saying, ask somebody how they're feeling, and if they say, yeah, I'm fine, always ask them again, because the second time round, it makes that point that actually I am interested and I want to know. So yeah, I think recognizing it is such a key point. So obviously you've been out and about. What would you say, here's putting you on the spot, what are the 3 best things about Cornwall?
Oh, the beaches, pasties. Like pasties. That's why I need to do Couch to 5K. And actually family and friends, I would say. I know that you can have them anywhere, but we chose to move closer to family, because actually it's really important. And friends, I've still got friends from where I've lived all over the world, and yeah, keep in contact with them. So luckily we have Zoom and all sorts of other things these days that we can use. So yeah, it's great. But Cornwall isn't amazing. I think it's the nature. It's just being outdoors and nature, and yeah, just being out there. It's good.
And I'm ashamed to say, and don't look too shocked, but I've never been to Cornwall. um, which is absolutely awful, because seeing all these bits as I do of the virtual walk, I go, oh, it's brilliant, it looks amazing. And then you see, perhaps, I don't know what the program shows too much, but Doc Martin.
Yeah.
and you just go, oh wow, yeah, I'd love to be there. Is it really like that? Is it really like Doc Martin?
I'm ashamed to say I haven't really watched Doc Martin, but it's filmed not even half an hour away. It's down the coast from where I am. It's my coast. Yeah, from the scenery, definitely that's what it's like. And it's small communities that are very supportive, and the community I live in, yeah, I put a post out last night saying on Facebook saying, how can I support you all? And before we came on today, I read a post from somebody I'm friends with, and not directed at me, but oh my goodness, there was a cry for help in it. And I just thought, right, that's even more of a reason. She was struggling homeschooling, and I get that. My girls struggled yesterday with the news that they couldn't go back to school and they couldn't see their friends. And yeah, it's just very, very hard, and we're very fortunate to live here. But yes, another brilliant program that was on over Christmas was Simon Reeve, BBC Two, or certainly be on the iPlayer. He did 2 programs about Cornwall, and yeah, really interesting. Even though I live in the county, it was really interesting because there's a lot of deprivation and poverty here. And
Really?
yeah, and there's real money, because obviously we've got the second homeowners that come down, and they need to be here because they're bringing money to the county and they're bringing jobs. But obviously there's such a disparity, and the minimum wage, most people are on it down here. So it makes it hard for what I've been doing, and hard to be fair and equal about giving opportunities to people. So that's why I find myself often doing things for free. And this year I'm setting up as a community interest company. So that basically means I can still do what I'm doing, but I'm going to be able to apply for grants and loans, and not loans, because I apply for grants to run projects. And so actually I can give back to my community and still be able to pay my bills. Not that I need loads of money to pay, but do you know what I mean? It's kind of cover that, but also being able to do good for the community. So I've got lots of exciting plans about that. So that's good.
Wow. we could talk forever, but we're going to bring it to a close. But
Yeah.
seeing you are absolutely amazing, and you've got all of these fantastic skills to help other people. Now here comes the real question, the tricky one. What is one piece of advice that you would give to people to help improve or aid their mental health and well-being?
I would say get outdoors. It's hard. We struggled over Christmas being because the weather, it was just rain, rain and rain. And although we've got raincoats and wellies and all of that stuff, it just gets a bit depressing after a while. And yeah, this morning it was cold when we went out, but it was sunny and just makes such a difference. So yes, get out. And I'm very aware, because I've lived in London and I've lived in built up areas, and I understand it's very hard to go out and do that daily exercise. I'm very fortunate for where I live and I have choices. But yeah, just being outdoors and just having that connection with others and being able to say good morning to people that you don't know just gives you that kind of feeling of positivity for yourself and well-being, but also knowing that it's helping them as well. So yeah, that's my tip.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Sophie. That was lovely. Lovely to talk to you. On that note of getting out, I suppose I ought to pull on my walking boots and go off again. I think it's really strange, because as you do this walking and you watch the app change and you go, oh, I'm really getting through Cornwall. And then as you zoom out, you realise that you're actually not getting anywhere because it's so far down. It's a very long county, isn't it?
Most definitely. So I live on the Bude, and Bude is on the north coast, and it's on the border between Cornwall and Devon. So I am in Cornwall. Lots of people forget us and think that we're actually in Devon. But yeah, so to travel from where I am to Land's End, for example, is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the car. So it's a very long, thin county, and yeah, and that, I think that causes some issues as well in terms of if I want to go and do training courses, obviously that's not appropriate at the moment. But yes, to drive to Truro, which is the sort of the main place within Cornwall, is at least an hour and a half drive for me. So yeah, it's kind of closer to Exeter probably than we are to Truro, but yes.
And very quickly, on the nature side of things, have you been to the Eden Project, and what's it like?
Oh yes, it's my I'm not religious, but it's like my spiritual home. I feel comforted, and I just absolutely adore it. And this year I actually did an Eden Project communities virtual camp, so all to do with doing good things for your community. And yes, the Eden Project is amazing. I've been to lots of gigs there, and went the year that it opened and have been going ever since, really. And it's evolved and developed, and sadly they had a landslide just before Christmas, so they've had to close for a bit, but then obviously they're closed anyway because of the third lockdown. But yeah, if you get a chance to go, it's just stunning, and it's beautiful, it's sustainable, it's about education, and it's about all the things I feel very passionately about. So, yeah.
You have definitely sold it to me.
Lovely.
Definitely sold. Well, thank you very much. That was brilliant.
No worries.
And I feel that I'm now through Cornwall. I'm moving on to, where am I going to next? What's my next county? Is it Devon?
Devon. So yeah.
Into Devon next. So see what happens there. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Stunning.
I'm looking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was Sophie Adey, who is a Relax Kids coach in Bude, North Cornwall. And if you'd like to find out more about what she does, please visit her Facebook page. Simply search for Relax Kids, North Cornwall with Sophie. She mentioned the 2-minute beach clean challenge, and if you'd like to find out more about that, then search for beachclean.net. As a reminder, I'm doing the Land's End to John O'Groats walk in aid of Restore, a mental health charity in Oxford. And if you'd like to sponsor me, that would be amazing. Click on the link, possibly in a box around here, maybe not, but certainly I'll put it in the comments below. You can also visit my website, roypeach.com/ramble, where you can find out all that's happening along the route, follow me as I take my stroll, but you can also click on the link to the GoFundMe page there.